Hello, BookTube. It's hours later in the day, and the Bean and I went on our long walk for the afternoon. It's overcast and fairly cool, but it's 97% humidity. And those of you who don't come from countries that have any experience of that won't be able to imagine what that does to you when you're out and about. It's enervating. It absolutely saps your strength. And it sapped both of us. We had a wonderful walk, a wonderful chatty walk. Lots of things to look at, lots of things to dig at and smell. But by the end of it, the Bean was so exhausted that she couldn't even accost people. Ordinarily, she accosts everybody that we meet. Stop what you're doing, put all that stuff down, abandon your children, come over and cuddle with me. And she didn't have the will to accost by the end. But when we got back, there was some mail. So I thought we'd go over that. The first one is a little padded envelope that I'm assuming is a present from one of you. It has a return address and everything, so it's not coming from a publisher. And presents from you are tricky. I'm always incredibly happy, incredibly touched that you would give me something, but getting me a book is often dangerous. So what have we got here? Okay, this is by Mark Kurlansky. This is The Last Fishtail, The Fate of the Atlantic and Survival in Gloucester, America's oldest fishing port and most original town. I don't know that I am blurbed on this. I read this when it came out. I'm pretty sure that I reviewed it as well. Well, let's check the date. We can tell in a minute. I wonder if this Boston Globe blurb excerpt is me. Christian Science Monitor. No, this might have been before I was reviewing books again. This might have happened during the Donahue Interregnum. No, 2008. Could have been. Well, one way or another, this is the story of Gloucester, Massachusetts, a rare survivor among coastal societies who have abandoned fishing and turned to tourism as a way of life. And Mark Kurlansky, of course, is well known. One of you must have plucked this from a used bookstore, and just the Entertainment Weekly says The Last Fishtail is rich, varied, and satisfying, just like a good chowder. All right, so we start off with a choice used book, something that I read when it came out, but might be up for a reread. Then we have this. This next one is in a priority mail envelope, so it could be another book from one of you. Oh no, this is from a publisher. What have we got here? This is coming out in November, I believe, as a $20 paperback original. And this is by Patricia Dunn, and it is Last Stop on the 6th. Last Stop on the 6th. That is, the cover art is by William Papaleo, and it is a very nice, surrealistic view of Subway. Very good. So what do we got here for Last Stop on the 6th? Can you ever really go home again? Teresa Angela Campanosi is about to find out in Last Stop on the 6th. This hilarious, hard-hitting, and big-hearted novel brings to mind the movie A Bronx Tale, as it follows Angela back home to her Italian-American family in the Bronx to prepare for her brother's wedding. After a decade as a political activist in Venice, California, Angela is back in her childhood home about to topple her family's tower of secrets. The truth about her brother's accident, impending marriage, and subsequent disappearance, her alcoholic father's fall off the wagon, and her former boyfriend's recovery from heroin addiction. And most of all, why Fat Freddy is tormenting her family. Okay, and the author, I feel certain, this is partly autobiographical, so that, yes, the author is an Italian rebel raised in the Bronx. She's the author of a young adult novel, Rebels by Accident, and her writing has appeared in Salon, The Village Voice, The Nation, LA Weekly, and the Christian Science Monitor. Okay. Great. So what does she do now? She served as the senior director of the Writing Institute at Sarah Lawrence College, where she holds an MFA in creative writing. She's the co-founder of the Joe Papaleo Writers Workshop in Cetera, Italy. Okay, great. So in November, you get a very pretty trade paperback, a family drama, coming out in November in a paperback original. And then we have one of these big white envelopes, and then we'll be done. So for today, what have we got here? Now, these big white envelopes are never from you. They're always from customers. Oh, great. Okay. Uh, okay, we've already seen this. This is the lovely finished copy. Great. Now with lots and lots of blurbs. Good. Okay, so that whole sheet is just blurbs. You don't need that. But this also comes with a little booklet. This is from Soho Crime, and it is by Naomi Hirahara, and it is Clark and Division in the lovely trade paperback, raised letters and everything. Very nice. And it comes with a little publicity book here, set in 1944 Chicago and drawing on decades of authors' research. Edgar Warner to Naomi Hirahara's eye-opening and poignant new mystery, the story of a young woman searching for the truth about her revered older sister's death, brings to focus the struggles of one Japanese family released from mass incarceration at Manzanar during World War II. Naomi Hirahara, the California-born daughter of survivors of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima, has dedicated her career to recording the Japanese-American experience. In her earliest days in journalism as a reporter and editor for the Rafu Shimpu, Los Angeles' 118-year-old Japanese-American newspaper, she covered the reparations movement for Japanese Americans who had been forcibly removed from their homes during the war. In the 30 years since, her research and advocacy have yielded critically acclaimed reportage, nonfiction ethnographies, and topical histories, groundbreaking curatorial work, and, of course, mystery fiction, like her Edward Award-winning Mas Arai series, which features a septuagenarian L.A. Gardner, an atomic bomb survivor, as a detective. And Clark and Division, this book, which comes out on August 3rd, is the culmination of these 3 decades of devoted work, collecting oral histories and digging into the buried history of Japanese mass incarceration. And my question now is the same as what I'm sure it was when I got the advance copy of this, which is, do you expect all of that ethnographical research to critic-proof this book? If this itself were an ethnography, that would be one thing, but it is a novel. And novels rise or fall, they succeed or fail on entirely other grounds than the worthiness of their subject. But I've had the advance copy of this and I haven't dug into it, and it's August 3rd, which is right around the corner. So now I will. Now I will. I will use this as a kick in the behind to get to this. In fact, I'll read it tonight. So there you go. We have one book that I'll get to right away, Clark and Division. One book that I won't get to for a while, not until November, and that's The Last Stop on the 6th. For you Bronx people, you're going to want this book, obviously. And then one book that I read, over 10 years ago, but maybe I'm due for a reread, and that is this copy of The Last Fishtail by Mark Kurlansky. So there you go. That is the mail for today. I owe one of you an email thank you for the gift in the mail. Now I'm going to wrap this up and tend to the bean, because she is depressed. She is not fully depressed, but she's down in the dumps. She needs cheering every day because it's been, for several days now, it has been either raining or threatening to rain, thunder and lightning, but never a hint of sunlight. Barely any sunlight at all. Sunlight's supposed to return tomorrow, and she likes that. She likes that. For me, the nice thing, the nice change, which is not forecast to happen at any point in the immediate future, not for 10 days at least. For me, the nice thing would be if the dew point of the humidity went below 70%. It's at 97% now. So your perspiration has nowhere to go. It feels like you're walking around under a hot blanket. It feels like you're trying to do errands while fully dressed in a working sauna. It's not the same thing as heat. The humidity, when it gets this bad, it's not the same thing as heat. All the doors and windows are sticking. It's gross and exhausting. And I would like it if that went away, if the humidity leached away, so that the heat of midday wasn't despairing. That would be great. But I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, so I'm going to commiserate with the bean. But if I get more mail, I'll come back on camera, and if not, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, BookTube.